Can start the recording. Welcome, everyone. I am Elisa Velardo, Deputy Commissioner for the Department of Developmental Services, and I want to welcome you to our fourth Tuesday forum for October. Our topic today is employment options and opportunities, and our list of presenters today is phenomenal. I don't want to give too much away, but you can see the agenda on the screen, and you can see that we have some amazing success stories to share with you today. I want to let you know that we are recording today's session, and this recording will be available on our website under Fourth Tuesday Forums. It usually takes us a couple days to get the recording posted. And we will also have any of the materials that are shared today available on the website as well. I want to let you know that we'll go through the presentations first and then open it up to question and answers. If you are listening to a presenter and you have a question or a comment, feel free to use that chat feature, that little thought bubble that you have, and you can write your question in the chat as the presentations are occurring, and then we'll get to the questions after the presentations. If you feel more comfortable asking your question, once we get to question and answers, you can use that that raise hand feature, and raise your hand, and we'll field questions that way as well. So I would like to turn it over to our team members for some introductions. First, Carrie Philick, can you come on? Carrie is our newest team member as Director of Family Support Strategies, and she is working with the Employment and Day Support team. So I want to give you a chance to introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I am Carrie Philick. I'm excited to be here. I think this is my second Fourth Tuesday forum. I sat in last week and just a lot of great conversations and great information. I'm really looking forward to going through this presentation today and just being available and hearing what our team has to say. So welcome, and I'm really happy to be here. Thanks.
Thanks, Carrie. And then I will turn it over to Trevor Rogers.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to start introducing our Employment and Day team. So I'm Trevor Rogers. I'm an Education Services Specialist, and I am out of our central office. I'm going to turn it over to Daryl.
Thank you so much, Trevor. Really quick, I will acknowledge our director, Amber Carter, in her absence today. But as Trevor had said, my name is Daryl Spears Jr. I am an Education Services Specialist as well, out of the North region.
Great. I'll go next. My name is Brian Gresco. I'm an educational service specialist out of the South region. And I'm also serve as a statewide coordinator for Project Search. And I'm also very happy to be here. And I'll pass things off to Kate.
Hi, Kate. I think you're muted.
Oh, sorry. I said, can you see my screen first of all?
We
Yes.
can.
Okay, great. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kate DiStefano. I'm also an Education Services Specialist in the Employment and Day Services Unit. Today we have an ambitious agenda, and we'll be reviewing topics like Employment First policy and what that means at DDS, employment and day service options. We will also be focused on highlighting new and exciting initiatives and programs. And we will be spotlighting Dylan, Ray, and Kimberly, who are here today to share their employment success stories. But the first thing we're going to start with is a little Mentimeter poll. We like to make our presentations a little bit interactive. It's a way for us to introduce our topics and also to gauge an understanding and identify areas we may need to spend more time on. So it's fairly simple to join. You can join right from your phone by scanning the QR code on the screen or by visiting menti.com and entering the code you see at the top, 52200548. So it shouldn't take you very long, but I'll give everyone about a minute to get started. And then we can move into our poll questions. Wow, people are coming in fast. You guys must have some experience with Mentimeter. We usually don't get them coming in this fast. So I'll just keep this code up for a few more seconds, and as I see more people coming in. And just so you know, your responses are anonymous, so don't be afraid if you get an incorrect answer, we won't know, but we really would love your participation. And once you're in, it should say something on your phone like waiting for the host to begin. So far, it looks like we have 33, a lot of thumbs up, great. How many people total do we have today? I can't
I
see the
believe we have
number.
about 84.
Okay, so it
I
looks
think we
like
can probably get started. I think a lot
yeah.
of people are probably signing over. What I can do too, Kate, is I'll put in the chat just in case somebody's like struggling and they're just about to lose it. I'm gonna put that code in, and then we can play the game.
Okay, and Trevor, you're going to be my sidekick for this. So here we go. So on a scale of 1 to 5, how familiar are you with today's topic? DDS, employment options and opportunities, 5 being most comfortable or most knowledgeable.
Lots of movement, Kate.
What do you think, Trevor?
It's looking like a lot of you have some employment and day experience, or at least you've maybe interacted with us before. But even if you have, I think we're gonna have some cool things to share with you. And for those of you who might be employment and day experts, you're gonna get a lot out of this because we have some really great success stories to share at the end. But it's looking like a lot of you have interacted with employment and day service options before.
I agree. It's nice to see at least a lot of people are right in the middle. So that's great. Okay, next question. Can you name a DDS employment service that you have used or heard about? And if you haven't, you could just say that you're not familiar. Project Search, that's great. That's going to come up in our presentation. That's a 9-month internship program.
Seeing a lot of customized employment in
There
there.
you go. That's Trevor's
Oh,
project.
and now they're filling up. So I do see some BRS, CT Pi. Not those are, we'll cover that tiny bit, how that kind of affects us and it comes into play. Those are our partners, one of our sister agencies. A lot of employment transition services.
This is great.
And again, there's no wrong answers, but what you tell us here is going to help us kind of pivot a little bit so we can make sure we're giving you the information that's what you need. So, Kate, next question.
What does CIE stand for? We love our acronyms, and this is a very popular one in Employment and Day.
You will hear us reference this throughout the rest of the presentation. So that's why we're doing this, because as you know, we are an acronym-heavy agency, but this is one of those big ones. What does CIE stand for? Hey, are we going over the correct answer to this now, or?
No, we will. I'm just going to give it
Okay.
one more second. Okay, and the correct answer is competitive integrated employment. And that was the #1 response, so that's great. And we're going to get into, in the next question, exactly what does that mean? So competitive integrated employment, or CIE, means the employee with a disability. And then you're going to pick what you think is the best answer here.
Right off the bat, we're having a lot of all of the above. Kind
I'm
of
very happy
surprised
to
not
see
to
that.
see. I am too.
So I think we'll do the reveal. And that is the correct answer. All of these are true. So if you did pick one of the other options, it is true, but the best answer is all of the above, because all of these do indicate that an individual is competitively employed. This is a question we get a lot, so I thought we'd include it in the presentation. To be considered competitively employed, an individual must be employed how much? Full-time, part-time, any amount of hours, 25 hours a week. Wow.
Wow.
What do you think, Trevor?
I have to say I am extremely impressed with this group.
I know, me too. I wasn't expecting it because a lot of times what do families say?
There's a lot of confusion about this, and I think
Right.
sometimes people think there's a set number of hours you need to work, but competitive integrated employment means that you are working with others in the community at a competitive wage. There is not an actual number on the amount of hours you need to work to be competitively employed.
So most people got that. That's great. Okay, in addition to DDS employment services, individuals may be eligible for employment support from which agency?
A lot of different answers on this one, and there is
Mhm.
kind of a trick question here.
It is a little bit. And we will explain why.
Yes, we promise that we will be explaining anything here if you're confused. That's what we're trying to do is kind of see where everyone is. But Kate, do you want to tell them what the trick
Sure.
was?
So the correct answer is Aging and Disability Services. This is the state vocational rehabilitation agency, and under Aging and Disability Services is the Bureau of Rehabilitation Services, and they're tasked with helping individuals with disabilities find and maintain competitive integrated employment. Connecticut PI, CT PI, is Pathways to Integrated Employment, and this is an initiative that BRS is running that is helping individuals gain competitive integrated employment. So we'll be putting some of these links in the chat. So if you want to learn more about Aging and Disability Services or CT PI and how it can help you find a job, you'll have that information. This is a question we get a lot. If you start working, you will automatically lose all your benefits. And again, happy to see that most of you recognize that this is false because you can work and keep your benefits. Lots of people with disabilities work and still receive benefits. Benefits counseling and financial literacy support are available through BRS, and we will provide contact information for benefits counseling in the presentation. Sorry, my mouse isn't moving. There we go. And this is our final question. If you are considering employment, what is your main concern? And sometimes a concern is safe and reliable transportation, as an example. Or if you have a family member who's considering employment, what would be something that would concern you? And I don't see any responses yet.
This is one that takes a little bit more time to
It
respond to,
does.
though, because you
Gotta
can
think
give up to
about it.
3 answers. So a
Okay, that
good
it's a good
fit.
fit. That's a good one.
Transportation. And Kate, what does it mean if the word is really big, like transportation?
So if the word is really big, it means that more people are saying that as their answer.
Hmm.
So the bigger the words, the more common that theme is.
Now I'm
The
seeing
more common
benefits
that
is
response is.
pretty big, Kate.
Yes. Yep.
Safety, fair treatment. I'm seeing natural supports. Schedule, job of interest, clothing, hours. These are lots of great responses. And Kate, we do get these afterwards, correct? So we can look at this because this is some really good
Yes.
feedback from you.
Yep, we get all the responses, and these are things that we can use in upcoming presentations or when we meet with any stakeholders. But the big ones here clearly are transportation, safety, and benefits, fair treatment, and that it's a good fit. And I think these are very common. We hear this often. So great responses all around. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your feedback and participating. And now we're going to move back to our presentation. And I'm going to turn it over to Trevor and Brian. They are going to speak a little bit about employment first.
Thank you, Kate. And so this is something that I'm very excited to talk about, and this is the perfect time to do it because those of you who may not know, October is National Disability Employment Awareness Month. And right on that trend, DDS has some really exciting news. So many of you probably know that we are an employment first agency, and we have been so since 2011. But we, as of October 2024, made some revisions to our employment first policy. And what that means is it's just creating more options and resources to allow individuals to obtain their employment goals. Employment First is a nationwide movement. And what it means is if individuals with disabilities want to be employed, it's our job to help them find a way to get there. And so individuals who are interested in employment and are interested in pursuing a competitive integrated employment option, that's what we're here to do is provide different services and supports to help individuals achieve their self-directed competitive integrated employment goals. And that's why we're here as an employment and day services team, and we are a resource to our individuals and families. And so Brian's going to talk a little bit about more. What does that mean when we say CIE, competitive integrated employment?
Yeah, and this year we could spend all day talking about competitive integrated employment, but just due to time constraints, we'll try to keep it as brief as possible. As Trevor mentioned, one of the charges of being an employment first agency is providing pathways for interested individuals to competitive integrated employment. When people think of competitive integrated employment, the thing that comes to mind is they think of minimum wage, but competitive integrated employment is a bit more involved than that. The definition really focuses on commensurate wages, which really just means the same pay as anyone else performing that job. The individual also have access to the same benefits as anyone else performing that job, and they also have access to career mobility and ascension, which basically means it's not just about getting a job. It's also about having the opportunity to change jobs, to grow through your career, and be considered for promotions. So it's a very lofty and ambitious goal, but it's certainly something that is meant for everyone. And I think that's really the heart of it, is that this is something that if individuals are interested in exploring, that as an employment first agency, our job is to help them explore those possibilities and reach their goals.
And I just want to say that one thing that's important there is employment may look different for everyone. Maybe you're working 5 hours, maybe you're working 40 hours. That is part of what we want to dispel some of those rumors. Employment's going to look different for everyone based on your individual goals. And so when we say employment options, we don't necessarily mean 40 hours or 25 hours. It's personalized depending on what each DDS individual, what their individualized goals are.
Excellent point. Um, So, part of DDS's commitment to expanding work opportunities for individuals is connecting with employers in industry sectors throughout the state. This has been an ongoing effort, and as you can see, we have points of contact for employers who wish to learn more about employment for our individuals. This would be like on our website, as well as being listed as a business championing employment for our individuals. So you can see there's a QR code where employers can actually link directly to our website and identify as, we're an employer that's very interested in employing individuals supported by DDS. So this is just an example of how we're interacting with employers, but it's a very big. We're at an inflection point. We're at a point where now we are very much putting resources to interacting with employers. So we're really excited about where this leads.
Okay, we just have a couple slides about aging and disability services, just because these are important slides due to the collaboration between DDS and BRS as it pertains to employment outcomes. As I mentioned during the Mentimeter, the State Vocational Rehabilitation Agency is the Department of Aging and Disability Services, and BRS and BESB fall underneath ADS. Again, more acronyms. And BRS assists individuals with employment, and BESB does the same for individuals with visual impairments. So please feel free to visit their website to learn more about BRS services. And as I also mentioned, benefits counseling is available. These benefits counselors can help you to understand the potential impact of benefits once you become employed. So for more information about that, there is a link to finding a benefits specialist in your area. And I'm going to turn this over to Daryl, who is going to speak a little bit about employment and day services.
Thanks a lot, Kate. Again, my name is Daryl Spears Jr., and I'll talk to you today about our employment and day supports that we have. So starting with employment, because we are employment first, and then we have pre-employment supports as well as day services. So the employment services that we have are self-employment. You'll hear more about these services later on in the presentation, but for the sake of this slide, I'm just going to list them off. Individual supported employment, which is also known as ISC, group supported employment, which is known as GSC, and customized employment, also known as CE. For our pre-employment services, we have employment transition services, also known as ETS, and then we have project search, which you will hear more about in just a second. And for our day services, we have group day support options, also known as DSO, and then individual day supports known as IDS and senior supports. And just an FYI, at the bottom right of the screen is a link to our webpage where you'll find some brochures and a lot more information about what we'll be discussing today. So we would just want to highlight transportation. Transportation is available support to our individuals. This service is offered to enable individuals to get to their place of employment or to community-based supports or events. This could include an agency that provides transportation. This certainly includes public transportation, pre-purchase bus tickets, paratransit bus passes, train tickets as well. We also support with private transportation such as Uber and Lyft. And then we have payment per mile with a maximum of 1 round trip daily. And then lastly, we have wheelchair accessible transportation, which coincidentally is paid at a higher rate, specifically if the individual requires a wheelchair accessible vehicle. So some of our different service delivery options. So at DDS, we have the plethora of services that individuals can receive support in, and there are some different options as to how those services are delivered. So the first option, which I feel like is the most familiar, is the Qualified Provider Agency. DDS Qualified Provider Agency is responsible for the hiring, training, and managing the staff who provide the funded services. At the bottom, you'll see where it says click here, where you'll see a DDS qualified provider list so that you can see some of our providers in the state. We also have self-direction, which an individual will have a primary role in the designing, selecting, directing, and evaluating the supports to live how they want and retrieve the services that they like with the staff that they choose. And you'll see at the bottom there it says connecting you to care in Connecticut. It is a website called Rewarding Work, in which it is a resource to help individuals who choose the self-direction path find different staff in the state who are available to support. Lastly, we have agency with choice. The provider agency makes an agreement with the individual where the individual chooses who they would like to hire within the provider agency, and the agency agrees to help train and manage the staff. So what is a provider profile? We found it very important to include this slide in the presentation today because we really wanted parents and guardians and individuals to know that provider profiles are on our website as a resource to individuals to look to see what different type of provider agencies are in the state of Connecticut. And in the provider profile are lists of different services and specifically that the provider provides, as well as contact information. Okay, and I'm going to pass it to Kate.
I think that's me.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so day services. I'm not going to focus too heavily on these today because we're really just looking at some of our newer initiatives. But as Daryl mentioned, under day services could be group day supports, individualized day supports, either vocational or non-vocational, and senior supports. What we've done recently is launch something called Reimagining Day, and it added 2 new employment-focused pathways under group day supports. So you can see them there, employment enrichment services and employment exploration option. I'm very quickly just going to kind of show you how this split off into these 2 pathways. Day support option is still an option, but these will be 2 more employment-focused pathways that individuals can choose under DSO. So Employment Enrichment Service, or EES, is a new service for employed individuals who need more hours to enhance their day or week. We've heard from a lot of individuals and families that if they only work 10 hours a week, they don't really have much to do the rest of the week, and perhaps they want to work on skill building. Maybe they want to acquire a certification, or maybe get a second part-time position, or just work on soft skills so that they have better relationships on the job site. That's what EES would be for. Employment Exploration Option, or EEO. This is an option for individuals who are in a DSO who want to explore maybe some hours of employment and community inclusion, employment exploration. And maybe this is the first time an individual has really considered employment. They're not quite ready to go to a pre-employment or employment service, but this would be a foundational introduction. And I'm going to turn it over to Brian for a little bit about pre-employment services.
Just had to take myself off of mute. Thank you, Kate. Let's see. So we have pre-employment services. And so DDS offers pre-employment services for individuals who are interested in work, but still require skill development to prepare them for entering the workforce. The main pre-employment service that we offer is employment transition services. This is mostly used for individuals entering into DDS who are interested in employment. However, we should note that individuals can access ETS at any time. So, for example, someone who may have previously been employed at some point and they decide that they want to re-enter the workforce may go through into employment transition services. You might also have somebody who's entered into DDS and previously hadn't wished to pursue employment, but has since changed their mind, and now they're willing they're looking to find that employment pathway, and ETS can serve in that capacity as well. When we talk about ETS, some of the focuses that the program has are career discovery and exploration, skill development, self-advocacy. And really, the goal is to help individuals become equipped and ready for competitive integrated employment. This is a program, it's also somewhat time limited. So it's up to 36 months or 3 years. Obviously, the goal is to find the pathway to competitive integrated employment prior to the 3-year limit. But that is the constraints that we work within with ETS. We also offer an internship program that's actually it's a national program. It's beyond the limits of Connecticut. It's in 49 states, and I'll give a very brief overview of it because we have a very nice video that we can show that gives a better description of what I could offer with Project Search. But it basically follows a traditional school year, typically September to May or June, and offers typically DDS provider agency will work with a large business like a hospital or a university, those kinds of large businesses, and the interns will each be exposed to 3 micro internships. They call them rotations, so they really get a wide swath of work development opportunities. So I will, I think, turn it over to the video. You'll see a young man in this video who we'll be meeting with right afterwards. So pay close attention.
Okay, I'm going to try to get this. I think I have to stop sharing and start again. So give me 1 second.
I think, can't you just click play or it won't?
I want to see if it works. Do you hear it? Do you hear it? No. Okay.
You want me to do it?
I'm going to try one more time. Let me see. Okay. How about now?
Project Search is a
Yes, we
10-month
can hear it.
internship program. It's designed for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. It guides them towards employment by creating work readiness skills.
Over the course of that academic year, after a 3-week orientation to the host business site that allows interns to learn the culture of that business, they then go into 3 10-week-long unpaid internships over the course of the year, which are designed to build upon their skills as well as explore their interests. So typically programs are beginning in late August or early September, and graduation is occurring in mid-June.
I worked in the kitchen. That was my first job I did, and then I did a double rotation in the EVS department, which was the cleaning department, which I made so many friends of everyone in the hospital with now, and which some of them came to my School of Rock performance, which it was amazing, which I had such a fun time with everyone there.
Project Search is a great support program for students and for the community. Just knowing that we can have the students and have the kids learn different fields and be able to get the support that they need to be successful and get a job and be able to work independently.
I work on booklets and DVDs. Well, I like working here in the library because it's not that busy. I like the peace and quiet.
Being part of this program is wonderful. The relationships that we get to build not only with the individuals but with our host business partners is really incredible. Witnessing the fact that they really have become a part of the culture of the host business.
Project Search benefits for host businesses. There's obviously the inclusive aspect to it in terms of adding into your business and the culture of your business. But there's also the practical side where you've developed a pipeline of interns in your system that can turn into prospective employees. You've helped the community at large because you've helped develop that next generation of up-and-coming talent.
The best part being in Project Search was making all these coworker friends from my housekeeping department, from my GI department, and my emergency department too, which it was such an amazing feeling. I made friends with all of them.
It makes me feel happy, excited.
Project Search is one that's already near and dear to my heart because of the wonderful outcomes and opportunities that it allows young adults with disabilities to have, and the fact that it's a partnership model that we are able to work with the host business sites, our adult funding sources, education systems to bring positive employment outcomes to individuals with disabilities.
I truly do enjoy working with different types of personalities and abilities. And when I know that someone's doing great, I like to support and have them be great. So you weren't able to do this? Here are the tools. What can I do to help you be a better person? So that's why it's fulfilling for me.
All my bosses and managers and supervisors are all very proud of me. But they say you are the hardest worker of all.
When we talk about graduation from Project Search, while it's an achievement, it's the beginning of the journey of their pathway to employment and ultimately having a really meaningful life, just like everyone else.
Love Project Search and can't wait for the next journey of my life.
To find out more about Project Search and other DDS employment services, please visit our website.
Okay, so we actually have Dylan and his mom Stacy here, I believe.
Hi there.
Hi, Dylan.
Brian, always great seeing you as always.
Always good to see you as well.
And I know Kate Chimes is on here too. Hi, Kate.
I just put this up for you, Dylan, because I know that we talked to you and we kind of want to circle back because you're such a great ambassador for Project Search. And I've known you for a little while because before I came to Employment and Day Services, I used to be a transition advisor. So I've seen you as a student, then an intern, and now an employee. So your progression is just amazing. And I wanted to share the pictures that you sent to me because I think the audience will recognize the person on the left of you here. And who is that?
That's none other than the man himself, that man person from over the summer when I graduated from Project Searches, Aaron Judge from the New York Yankees.
And I understand that you're a huge MLB fan, and
Well,
that's one of the
that is exactly true.
and I know that's one of the things that you like to spend your paycheck on. But what I really want to start off asking you, and my colleagues here, Daryl, Brian, and Trevor, I'm sure are going to want to ask you questions as well, is what does your week look like right now? Because I know you're working quite a few jobs, so maybe you could tell us about one or two of the jobs that you have right now.
So one of the two jobs I have right now is I work at Chartwell's, which is at Staples High School in Westport, Connecticut, which I get there at 10 a.m. in the morning. My shift ends like at 2:00 p.m. They have like a 10-minute lunch break too after the busy lunch shift.
And what kind of jobs are you doing over there at Chartwell's?
So I help them set up the lunches for the lunch waves, help them refill the refrigerators for drinks like water, Snapple, seltzer, milk, desserts, cookies, French fries, all the deliveries that come and help them bring them into the walk-in freezer, help them with that a lot, which there's always delivery that happens at Staples like every day that I get to work. Like some days like it's like milk delivery day. Some days it is like boar's head meat delivery.
That's great. It sounds like they've already given you a ton of jobs there. That's fantastic.
So Dylan, I have a question. How do you get around town?
So I take the public bus a lot from my house every time because which I know so many Coastal Link drivers that I've made friends with when I first get there a lot because I know so many from different bus companies from Norwalk, Bridgeport, Milford, Stanford, because I made so many of them because now literally I have like all their phone numbers in my contacts and
That's not how you get to. How do you get to Chartwell?
I get to Chartwell. My mom drives in the morning a lot
And picks
me
you up.
up.
The bus you take to some of your other jobs,
Yeah,
right?
the bus I take to some of my other jobs.
Very interesting. So you have a lot of independence with learning how to use transportation. It's really impressive.
Yeah, it is. So I have a quick question for you. You went down the list of all the different things that you do at your job, and you have more than one job, which is amazing. So out of everything that you do, what would you say is your most favorite task at your jobs?
I it's everything that I do at my jobs are really awesome. I'm very proud of myself for that. And everyone's also like very proud of me for doing all these tasks for them.
Do you have a favorite?
I like them all. It's just hard for me having like just one favorite job I love.
Okay, that's a really good attitude to have. And um, I have one more question for you, and this may be a little early, and I love asking individuals who are employed this question because I'm just always curious, and I feel like the rest of us are as well. When you get your paycheck, what are some of the things that you like to do?
So like I usually love saying like on MLB games because I have someone that who works for the MLB, which I spend on MLB games and concerts. That's the most I spend my paycheck on because I love going to concerts a lot and I love going to baseball games a lot.
Okay, I love that. I think we can relate. I definitely like to go to concerts and spend my money on concerts as well. Brian, you had a question?
No, actually, I do have a question, a comment and a question. And whenever my favorite things, whenever we talk to folks about employment, it always turns into like a yes and conversation, and it's always yes, we're really excited about employment, and there's always something else that it opens a door for that people are really excited about, and that's just something that is consistently happen. So it's not just about the employment; it's about the life changes that happen that go along with it. And I'd heard that you had some exciting news about your living situation that you might want to share. And we were pretty excited to hear about that. And I wanted to give you an opportunity to share with everybody what's going on.
So literally, I just got my own apartment like just a couple days ago, which it is very exciting. I'm very proud about myself in that. Which I also just want to say thank you to my mom who got me this place, cause and especially to especially to all my good friends in Westwood on congratulating for me, because this is a very, very big thing for me, which I'm very proud of myself for doing this.
And your apartment looks absolutely beautiful. That's a great picture.
It's like literally just the best thing.
Can
for
I
me.
ask you one more question, Dylan?
Of course, Kate, go ahead.
So, what would you say to someone who is maybe a little bit nervous about applying to Project Search? What kind of advice would you give them?
What would you say?
I'll let you, whoever wants to join Project Search is more than welcome to, because it's a very awesome program to do, because you get to do like so many fun things to from different jobs, like from different tasks. Because when I started at Project Search, I didn't even knew where to go until I met so many coworkers, and then they showed me the ropes of everything. And now I know where everything was, but I just miss just being at Norwalk Hospital, because I just miss all my coworkers from there, because
And
it
I bet they miss you as well.
yeah, because I remember, what I remember from my last year at Project Search was, but I didn't even knew this, because like as soon as I walked into the apartment, because they had like balloons for me. It said congratulations on graduating Project Search. Like they had like let me see what they had. Bagels. They got donuts. They brought coffee.
That was your graduation?
No. This wasn't. This is on my last day of work there.
Mm.
Like this wasn't like, cause then it was awesome. Cause it was very awesome. Cause
Well, I'm so glad that you had
Oh,
such an incredible experience there.
and literally, like what I remember is because all my GI department got me like a Noah hospital jacket that they got for me before I left the hospital, because that thing was pretty special to me, because it was pretty awesome when I saw it, because I thank literally everyone comes from for getting that for me. That was just awesome.
Well, Dylan, it's always so nice catching up with you. I'm always,
It's
and every
always
time I get a
great
chance to
catching up
talk, and I was just wondering because I wanted to give your mom an opportunity if there's anything she wanted to share about her son, or anything she want, to give you an opportunity to speak, and then before we move on to our next interview. But thank you so much for sharing. This is always
Yes,
like
thank you.
so nice
Thank
to
you,
have these
Dylan.
conversations.
Yeah, you guys are absolutely welcome, cause I just really, cause I just literally, I just miss cause literally I miss just seeing the mostly all of my Project Search people so much, cause
Of course, go ahead, Mom.
I know you have a really long agenda and a lot to get to, but I think this Project Search, the 9-month training was quite extraordinary and did give Dylan the skills so he could go on and take it outside the hospital. Sadly, at the time, there wasn't a position available at Norwalk Hospital, which I didn't know if sometimes that's the model that DDS wants to do through Project Search, but he was able to transfer those skills very nicely to Chartwell's and the Porch at Christie's and a bookstore. Chartwell's is the only one that their mission base is not just employing adults with disabilities. It would be great to see more places of employment hiring people with disabilities, as you know, which is always an uphill battle, and just trying to get employers past the fear of just not knowing what it's like working alongside. So I appreciate all that you are doing. Transportation is our big thing. I don't know if you heard Dylan clearly enough. He's extraordinary at the public bus to get to his other downtown jobs, but the big one, Chartwell's, I am his source of transportation back and forth. So everything you can do to keep working the Ubers and Lyfts, and that would be spectacular. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that if I say something real quick?
I don't know.
Sure.
Is it Kate, so if I say something else real quick?
Absolutely.
Project Search?
Yes.
Well, if anyone does not know if anyone does not know how to take the bus or how to get to their job, and if anyone needs how to show them how to use the bus for transportation, I am more than welcome to show them how to use the ropes of the bus.
Oh,
That's
that's such a
wonderful.
wonderful offer. Thank you, Dylan, and thank you,
Thank
Stacy.
you.
We really appreciate you being here today, and hopefully we see all the great things that you're going to do in the future.
And thank you for this, recognizing this month of employment for people with disabilities.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're very quickly going to just take a look at employment services. Trevor's just going to very briefly go through this, and then we're going to move into our final 2 interviews with Ray and then Kimberly.
So as we discussed earlier when we talked about employment first, it really means meeting our individuals where they are. So these are some of our different employment service options to help individuals become employed. So the first is some of our self-employment options, which I'm going to talk about right after this. So I'll skip that because it's very exciting. But the next is individual supported employment, which is assisting individuals in getting a job, finding a job, or support on the job. And then we also have a group supported employment. This is very similar. It's where a group of individuals are working together with the help of an employment specialist or job coach. And then we have customized employment, which customized employment is for individuals who have tried some of these other employment service options, and they may need a little bit more of a creative approach to get there. It's very specific, follows a very specific approach. It requires a lot of participation of the team. And it's based on the idea that we're negotiating a position that didn't exist beforehand that meets the likes, wants, and needs of the individual as well as the unmet needs of the employer. And so self-employment, as I promised. So I'm going to put in the chat a very exciting flyer that we have. This is a newer opportunity at DDS. So our DDS individuals can apply for up to $5,000 to act on a small business micro enterprise idea. This is a very exciting opportunity, and it's one of the ways that we're helping individuals achieve their employment goals. These funds can be used for equipment, training, research, and marketing. They can't be used to pay wages, but they can be used to help you set up some of this small business entities. And it's a really great way if you know an individual who has a business already or has a hobby that you really think maybe they can take the next step, make it take that community involvement and start selling some of their products. This may be an option for you. So please look at that flyer if you know someone that's interested and share it. And if that didn't excite you enough, I think our next presenter is really going to excite you. I had a hard time not getting emotional when I met Ray. And so Ray is going to talk about his self-employment story and about his own business, Rays of Sunshine in Love. So Ray, Do you mind coming on and sharing a little bit about your story?
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Ray. Is your camera on?
Oh, there we go.
Perfect. Well, I want to welcome you and your brother Ricky to our Fourth Tuesday Forum. I'm so happy that you guys were able to make it. I'm very excited for you to share your story. We will not belabor the time. So let's talk a little bit about how this all started. Let's talk about, some of the hobbies that you had and the connections that you were making with hospitals and shelters. Let's start there.
Well, how I started was in the beginning, I would just donate to cancers, domestic shelters, and different organizations like that. And then once COVID and things occurred, I could no longer do it. So I was gonna stop for a little while and not really do anything. But people kept saying, "Oh no, your blankets are awesome. We want to buy it." So after some convincing, I said, "Okay, let's do it," and it just snowballed into what my business is now, which is awesome.
That's amazing. So, I mean, that leads us right into the next question. Tell us about what the business has become, and then we'll talk a little bit about some of the things that you do in your business. So, tell us a little bit about Rays of Sunshine and Love.
Well, what it is now is a place where, especially during Thanksgiving and Christmas, but anytime, but especially during Thanksgiving and Christmas, we have a forum on our website, and you can go to our website and sign up if you need help for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we'll give you just whatever you want, like ham, turkey, the whole thing for Thanksgiving. And then Christmas, I mean, we go all out. We do toys, we do clothes, and we purposely give you your own bag, your own gift bag, and write it and wrap it up and give you your own thing. And we do it not just for the kids, but we do it for everyone in the family as well. So it makes it feel nice and special.
Yes, absolutely. And Ray, he's so humble that he will not tell you all of the truth. I mean, he started making these blankets to cancer centers. He saw something on Channel 3, and they said that they were accepting blankets at the time. This was about 4 or 5 years back. And Ray was like, what can we do? Can we give them blankets somehow? And Mom came up with the idea of we can get fleeces in big rolls and cut them down and then hand cut time and put them together. So Ray was going around to cancer centers, domestic violence shelters, and warming shelters, anywhere that needed blankets. And for about a year, he was donating them for that, just off donating them, buying them and donating them. And like he said, COVID hit. And then from there, we transitioned into a business. So our business, we are a nonprofit retail. So we have a variety of different products, which I can actually give you guys a quick twirl around.
That would be awesome.
Yep. So going into here, we have varieties of chocolate covered items like pecans, raisins, gummy bears. We have gummies, just a variety of different goodies. We also carry our own products of candles, sugar scrubs, soaps, wax melts that we make in-house all ourselves. Um, we also have some more goodies over here. We have a variety of fudges from chocolate walnut, chocolate pecan, peanut butter blast, pretzels, popcorns, cookies, cotton candy. I mean, and just insane. A whole bunch of different other goodies over here. And of course, the world famous blankets at which we all started with. They're still the heart of the business today. That's Mama's right there. And we have some more decor here. but we also think of fun different raffles that we can do. This one's a bundle of Ray, so you can win every single product that we offer just by buying a ticket. So this is really, really just an amazing time for Ray because he's really the rays of sunshine. So it all started with his mission. Just to think we would be here 4 years later, just from Ray donating blankets, and his will to give, regardless of what he's been through, is just truly, truly a blessing. And we are really, really grateful for DDS, which I know Ray will touch into. But man, big shout out to Lori Sorois. She is absolutely amazing. She's our birthday twin. Me and Ray are twins. I'm 1 minute older, so he's the baby. But she has the same birthday, but truly been very supportive. So it's very, very much a blessing.
I appreciate that. So my next question is, Ray, I want you to talk a little bit about that feeling that you had once you realized that you were getting ready to start your own business from a hobby that you had. And then I want you to talk a little bit about how you feel now, the confidence that you have now with, finally getting the business up and running and persevering.
Uh, oh man. Well, okay. I'm gonna be honest. I was scared because it was a hobby that I enjoyed, and I did it for a year or so, and then when I had to transition over into a business, I was a bit nervous and scared. But now that we've done it for a little while, and I can see the fruit starting to come up, I'm like, yes, I'm feeling pumped. I'm feeling excited. So and I can't wait for the next journey of what we got going on. It just feels more of an excitement than before.
That's amazing. And I feel like I can feel your excitement radiating right through the screen. And I know you've worked very hard. Sometimes people don't see the hard work that goes behind both a hobby and being self-employed. So with that being said, what would be your advice to someone who has something that they like to do? They're thinking about maybe making it a business, but they could be a little fearful, like how you were in the beginning. What would be your advice to them?
Mm. To be okay to be scared, but use that to as your fuel and say, all right, I can do this, even though it is scary, but it'll be worth it in the end. And that's what it ended up being. I got lucky, and for me, it ended up really working out. And also have make sure you have a good backup system, like have a good support system, because that helps. Because there's no way I would have been able to do this without the crazy support system that I have between Lori and my mom, my brother. I got lucky. So make sure you have a good support system and do it anyway. Do that.
Excellent. I appreciate that message. We're almost done. I only have 2 more points that I want to hit on. But before I hit on my last point, Ricky, I want to give you the opportunity to say anything that you would like to say on behalf of the business and supporting Ray. I know you've been there since the beginning, and this is very personable for you. So I definitely want to give you the opportunity to have a few words.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you guys once again. And for Ray, like with us being a twin, we've been with each other from the first day. So it's always been us. And he's really he keeps me grounded in ways that it's hard to explain. Just his outward positivity and how he wants to create impact and how he wants to help people and how he views people, that everyone has some type of good or value, or he looks past everything else. Like for me, it's tougher because I've met some not so good people, and I understand not everyone's good, but Ray's lens is a lot different. And to think that we transitioned ourselves from just making blankets to an actual nonprofit where Our main services are if people need help with groceries, clothing, hygiene products, or baby supplies. They just write us a request on our website. And if we have the budgeting for that month, we take care of all the expenses. And right now we're helping between 20 to 30 people monthly. And Thanksgiving and Christmas time is our big initiatives. Last year we helped over 100 people during Christmas time, give them groceries, gifts, clothing, all of the above. And we're self-reliant off just our products. All the products that we have and we sell, we are fully self-reliant off of all the rays of sunshine. So it's just really, really, really an extreme blessing. It's hard to really put in words how grateful I am for him, just because like the doctor said he wasn't even supposed to be here. Like he wasn't even supposed to make it, after he was born a year, let alone 10, 15 years. He's 27 and still kicking strong and has a mission. And our main goal, our 4 to 5 year goal is each county, there's 8 counties in Connecticut. So we want to be able to position a store within each county, and that store will be able to provide relief to each county within the state. So we have some pretty big dreams, and we have a lot of work to do to get there to make it possible. But we have a clear roadmap on where we want to go, and we're looking forward to just helping as many people as possible while also supplying as great goodies and products as possible as well. So I'm just extremely grateful for Ray and for him to take this leap and believe that there's also bigger possible, because just having this store was just a dream at one point. And now Ray living it and seeing how he connects with it is just so much of a blessing for me. And now it's my responsibility to continue to keep taking it to the next level.
That's amazing. I appreciate that. Ray, you are going to inspire a lot of people. And what you will find is that as more people hear about your story, there will be other individuals that are going to call you up and say, how did you do it? Could you give me some tips? So it will be more than just being a business owner. It will also be, being a peer mentor to help others get where you've gone and where you're going. So I have one more question for you, I promise, and then we'll wrap this up. So as you heard earlier, I like to ask this question. I asked you this question the other day with a really good answer. Tell me about what you spend some of your funds on, some of the money you make. What do you like to do with it?
Oh, well, of course, I love me some tacos, but I also love to release some stress and go out and do some bowling. But there is one other thing that I didn't say because Rick reminded me of it before we jumped on. But there's one thing I didn't say is and if I have enough, I occasionally will slide some of it if we need blankets or if we need product for the business, I slide it over to them and donate some of it as well. So blanket for business, bowling, and tacos.
Ha, that sounds like a wonderful combination. I really want to thank you for taking the time, not only today, but all the time that you invested before today to meet with me and prepare for today. And as I had mentioned to you before, a lot of people are going to be inspired by your story. And I'm hoping that we can keep in contact as you grow and your business gets even bigger. But I want to say thank you from the Employment and Day Services Unit for taking the time to be here. You and Ricky. Thank you guys very much. And tell mom that I said hello as well.
Absolutely.
You have.
Okay. And make sure you read the chat, okay? Because there's some good things in there that folks are saying and asking. So take the time.
Okay. You will.
Okie doke. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right, we will move along to our next story. This story is just as powerful and impactful. Kimberly, are you on? Actually, I saw Kimberly, so I know for a fact that she is here. Kimberly, if you can unmute, because we're going to pin you, okay, so that folks can see you.
Hi everyone.
Hey,
Hi there.
Kimberly. So Kimberly, thank you for being here today. Kimberly started out in GSC and now she is competitively employed. She receives individual supported employment. So, Kimberly, we'll get right into your interview. So, tell us a little bit about the GSC program that you were in, the group supported. How was that?
So, yeah, I was in the GSC program, which is group supported, and I was with a job coach and I was with like 3 other people served, and we were all doing the same job. So one of the jobs was husband magazines. So that's where I start and organize nice magazines and the bestseller books.
Okay. And so, if I'm not mistaken, you did a program at your provider agency that put you into a training program. The program is called VET. You want to talk a little bit about that?
So yes, I was in the VET program, which was the vocational enhanced position program.
Mm-hmm.
And I was one of the, there was me and 3 other people served, and we were there for 16 weeks. And we had like different, we were interning, so we had different intern sites.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually at my agency's office doing office work, scanning documents. And my other intern site was at Brown Butter Creations in Glastonbury. So for there, I was doing, labeling, assembling boxes. I was helping in the kitchen doing the scooping cookie dough. And I was also welcoming the customers and doing a cash register. And the people there was like really nice to me, so I really had a great time.
Okay. So when I talked to you yesterday, I really enjoyed how you talked about your very last day of training and what happened to you after that. So could you tell us a little bit about that?
So yeah, so on my last day, I went to Brown Butter. To my surprise, me and the other person served, we both got flowers.
Hmm.
And so we were all happy with that. So my agency that day, that morning, had a meeting, their monthly meeting, and they were mostly was like just talking about the about like things that's going on with the agency and any highlights. Well, my my instructor announced that, oh, Kelly got a job. And so when I came back, I had my flowers. There was another staff came up to me and said, congratulations. I thought she meant the flowers that I got.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, no, for the job. I was like, what? And so the cat was out of the bag. So when I went to the classroom, be like, okay, what's going on? And it was Lucas telling me to close the door. So I did. That's when he told me that I got the job at Brown Butter Creations in Glastonbury.
Nice.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. Um, so what are some of the things you do at Brown Butter?
So at Brown Butter, I label and assemble boxes. I help out like in the kitchen doing the cookie dough scooping. One time I actually helped to make the character Sonic for a cake, as they do custom cakes. And then I welcome the customers, and I also do the cash register, which is on a tablet. So the desserts and stuff in the case I could easily put in and deal with the money, which is the best part of actually interacting with the customers.
Mm. That's a really, really good point. And you lead me into the very next question that I was getting ready to ask you, which is something that mom brought up yesterday that's super important, which is how does working make Kimberly feel? What parts of your job do you like the most that make you excited to go to work?
Well, it's just being with people that's willing to like talk to me, like make me laugh. Just like if I needed help with something, if I can't reach something, them they're able to help me without them being mad at me of that they have to help. And so that's why I kind of like being with people that is really awesome, especially the owner at Brown Butter. She's really nice and just happens to be my neighbor.
Hmm. Look at that. Talk about community. So your boss is also coincidentally your neighbor, which is really cool. And I really appreciate how you talked about one of the best parts of your job is interacting with the other people who work there and having a sense of belonging and building relationships. And you guys laugh together and you work together. And I think that that's a really cool thing that people should know that they'll have the experience in having when they work. So I really, really appreciate that. So I know you heard me ask everyone else this question. You knew this question was coming. So
Yep.
what are some of the things that you like to do when you get your paycheck?
So for me, it's like I actually like to go out mini golfing. I go to my Glastonbury Teen Center. I'm very involved with Special Olympics, Connecticut. I like to go to movies, sporting games, especially UConn
Nice.
basketball, and doing just our puzzles and Sudokus.
That's amazing. I'm just gonna expound a little bit on what you said. So not only is Kimberly an athlete, but she also sits on the board of directors for Special Olympics, which is huge. I think they're very lucky to have you, and I really appreciate you taking the time, Kimberly, to talk about your experience going from GSC, doing a training program kind of similar to how Dylan did a training program, and then landing the job from doing such a great job. You're doing meaningful work, you're getting a competitive wage. And I just want to applaud you for all of your hard work and congratulate you for the work that you do. I know mom is sitting to the right of you. Mom, is there anything that you'd like to say?
Um, I'm just very thankful that I had that program for Kimberly and that she was able to show people her abilities. And I just enjoyed the fact that she now has a purpose. She gets up on Tuesdays and Thursdays, whereas the other days of the week you have to drag her out of bed. She just gets up, she wants to go, and I call it her peacock walk. You can tell when she's walking into that place, she feels proud of herself. And that's really what you really want, is them to have a purpose and to feel good about themselves.
Great. That is excellent advice. And again, Kimberly, I thank you, Mom, Trisha, thank you so much for being here. Again, just like Ray, I appreciate the time that you guys spent prior to this connecting with me and preparing for today. Kimberly, you did a great job. We're going to stay in contact because I love cake, so I've got to get down to Brown Butter, and I'm going to see you at that register. But this closes out this portion of our presentation. And again, from the EDS unit, we want to thank Dylan, Ray, and Kimberly and family for all being here and sharing your very inspiring stories. And at this point, I am going to pass it back to my colleague, Kate.
Thank you. Thank you, Daryl. This last slide is just resources, our website, Employment Day Services, our webpage, and brochures for our services. So feel free to check out the Employment Day Services webpage.
And really quick, Kimberly, there are folks saying things about you in the chat that I think you might appreciate. So definitely take the time to look in the chat if you can to see all of the applause that you're getting for doing such a great job.
Well, thank you. Thank you to the EDS team, Employment and Day Services team. You never fail to deliver an amazing forum. And to our presenters, I'm going to highlight a little bit about what's in the chat because it's been coming fast and furious. And the reason we have these forums is really to share kind of exciting, good, positive stories so that others have an idea what might be possible. And boy, did you inspire a lot of people today. Dylan, if you're still on, I I appreciated that you kicked it off, and we have a lot of comments for you about what a rock star you are, about what a great story you shared. Great baseball jersey, Dylan. A lot of go Yankees. You're having quite a season, so nice that you have that paycheck to spend because you have an awfully long season this year. Just a lot of applause, emojis, just really, really positive, exciting enthusiasm. And then we moved over. Ray, I have heard about you for years from Lori. And so I knew about your blankets and I knew about the start of your business. But boy, to meet you today and to meet Ricky and to know that your store is maybe 20 minutes from me, I can't wait to go over and do my shopping. Again, just how inspirational you are, amazing what you're doing, and the teamwork and the way that the two of you are working together. How cool it is! What an amazing business! You got some referrals here. I'm going to tell my family, I'm going to tell my friends, and I'm going to tell my coworkers the advice that you gave as far as, hey, it's okay to feel a little scared and move forward. That really connected with people. That's a great message to share, and you're a great role model.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, we appreciate you. And then Kimberly. So you also, I think you have some fans in the audience because the minute you came on, people were saying, hi, Kimberly. So I think we have some people here that know you. And again, thank you so much for sharing your story. Let's see. Wow, you're awesome. Thank you for sharing your path to employment with us. You rock, Kimberly. Love to hear these stories. Both proud of all of you. You're such an inspiration to others. Way to go, Kimberly. Such inspirational story. So inspiring. You're awesome. So we got a lot of love here generated. And I remember Trevor saying at the beginning, it's hard to hear these stories and not just feel really, really good about what's happening here in Connecticut. And the fact that you're willing to come on and share this with other people so that they can get an idea of what's possible is pretty tremendous. The only question I see, there were a couple. One is, Ray and Ricky, do you accept donations? Oh, you're on mute.
You guys are on mute.
Well, I see that and I have it open now. Your page is contact information that you shared, but do you accept donations through your business? I'm not sure if you can hear. So we'll put that we'll kick that to the top of the chat just in case you can respond in that way. And there is another question here. Let's see. So many comments. Okay, let's see. Are competitive and integrated employment and customized employment the same service or different? How do I find providers that offer this?
I was just typing in the chat to get to that. So I will type my answer anyway, just so it's there to reference. But Customized Employment CE is one of our service options that can lead to competitive integrated employment, or CIE. So the goal of our employment services is to help individuals get and maintain a competitive integrated employment option, and you can achieve that through customized employment. So customized employment, the goal is that competitive integrated employment option. I'm going to put the brochure for CE in the chat, as well as a list of the different providers that offer customized employment services. And then I believe it was Adriana who asked that. You can always reach out to me if you have any questions about customized employment, and I can share some resources. And I'll also put some resources here, because we do have a web page with all kinds of information for individuals and families about the service.
Wonderful. Those are the only questions I see. I see, Kyle, you have your hand up.
Yeah, thank you, Deputy Commissioner. I did see a question asking if EEO and EES are live with providers. I don't know if maybe Kate wanted to comment on that.
Sure. So providers are just submitting plans to be able to add the services. And so we should have a list of providers that have been approved to offer EEO, EES, or both by December. So they're in the process now of establishing the programs and getting their plans approved. So I would say right at this moment today, probably the answer would be no, but I think in another month we will have providers that are up and running, and certainly by December. That's the plan.
Thanks, Kate. And there has been a lot of interest, a lot of response from our provider community. So we're excited about that. Are there any other questions we have today?
Deputy Commissioner, I just wanted to add that I actually text Ray in the event that they couldn't hear. And yes, you can donate at their website, and I'll put it in the chat.
Awesome. Thanks, Daryl. Oh, yeah, I see it. I'm on the website. Donate today. It's right there. It's a sunshine jar. Thank you. All right. I think that wraps it up for today. I wouldn't have believed a year ago that that these forums could continue to just get better and better and better. But they do. The stories are just incredible. And today's topic was around employment, but Dylan, you're talking about your new apartment. The topics are all connected. It's so exciting to see how one thing leads to another, how project search leads to a job, how working leads to all these great things in the community. I am so excited that these forums continue. It's my favorite meeting of the month, and we're just about to publish our topics starting in 2025. If there's a particular topic that you're interested in, feel free to email me, and I'll put my email in the chat. And let me know what you're interested in, and we'll make sure that we incorporate that into future forums. So thank you for joining us here today, and I hope you all have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Take care.